Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day that you are seeing this. Hello. Welcome to All Things Chaotic. That is my life. Nice to see you guys. If you can't tell, I'm in a little bit of a chipper mood than I have in my last videos. I finally am not dying. I finally don't have popped blood vessels all over my face. I'm finally off my period. I'm finally feeling on top of the world again, okay? Those last videos were just a little bit of a struggle to make, but we powered through. We made it through, we did it. I'm proud of us, proud of myself, proud of you for sticking along. We did it, and it was rough, and I know that. So, gold star for both of us. Okay, I'm just gonna start putting on my clothes because that is the whole premise of this channel, is we're still trying to get like dressed and clothing style inspiration. I just got this great idea in me that I should tell my traumas. Who the fuck told me that would be a good idea, but come for me. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna do it because if I keep talking, I might not do it. So I'm just gonna do it. This is the main piece I'm gonna try to style today. I already pulled out some things that we're gonna be trying on to see what works cohesively, but it is a Teddy Fresh. I think it was labeled as like a football jacket. Teddy Fresh Looney Tunes collab football jacket. Lover, okay? That's what we're gonna be styling today. I think today I'm just gonna tell you about my mom and how she died. She was the first one to pass away. Kind of just gonna start at the beginning while I'm getting dressed. Me and my mom had like I prefaced in the last video, rewind even more, trigger warning, trauma, death, young age, abuse might come into it. Just big trigger warning on all things trauma, okay? Me and my mom had so when I was a kid, we had an amazing relationship. So I started to get a little bit older and me and my mom started to butt heads. So my sister was living already. I need to shave my armpits. I know I do shave my armpits. I just need to right now. Okay, please bear with me. I'm gonna take this off. So my sister was living in Wichita at the time. She had a job doing her big girl things. Okay, so I think she was already moved away is the point of the story. And I started just butting heads with my mom, started to not get along, so we would fight, and I was the stupid little kid that was like, oh, I hate you, this is the worst of you disciplining me is the worst thing in the world. I remember very clearly telling my mom on multiple occasions that I hated her. This isn't gonna be cohesive. Where did I stop off? Okay, so I would tell my mom I hated her, and that's like one of my, if you can tell why I remember, because it's one of my biggest regrets ever. So if you have ever told your parents you hate them, just go tell them you love them and maybe apologize for ever saying that, because it is probably one of the worst things you could ever hear from your child that you gave birth to. So just go love your parents, go tell them you love them, even though you guys are fighting, go tell them you love them. So I remember there being periods of time, and I couldn't even tell you for what, but periods of time, me and my mom just wouldn't talk. I know that seems weird to like the average person, to just not talk to your mom. But like I had said before, my mom was a really bad alcoholic. She got diagnosed with pancreatitis, and did I say this? Oh my god, see, I'm telling you, this is like really hard to cohesively talk about, and I don't really want to write a script down to tell you guys. Okay, so I mentioned in my last video that she was a really bad alcoholic, and then she got diagnosed with pancreatitis, and the doctor was basically like, look dude, you can't keep drinking or you're gonna die. Basically, he was like, you're gonna, newsflash, she did anyway. anyway, but I'm allowed to joke about my own traumas. We can laugh, haha. Ha 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 ha. That was funny. She got diagnosed with pancreatitis. She couldn't drink anymore, but she was still an addict. So she said, okay, I can't drink anymore. That's great. I'll just do pills. So it was very much during this time that she was doing pills, like lower tab. I think her 2 ones were lower tab and tramadol. It wasn't like opioid. I don't know if those are opioids, but it wasn't like the opioids that you hear. Fentanyl wasn't really a thing, but it wasn't like Oxycontin or hydrocodone. They were lower tab and tramadol. That's what I remember very clearly. So it was probably around this. It was probably like the pills. I was so young at the time, like I said, like 10. I probably didn't realize it, that it was like addictions and withdrawals and like the cycles of it that was causing our fights. Now that I am talking about it, I've actually never realized that. See, that's why I should push myself to keep going, because I am learning more things and it's just good for me to do, okay? If nobody likes this, if you guys think, why the is she talking about this, then if it's helping nobody, it's helping me. Okay, so that's probably what it was, the pills. Let's put the outfit on. I actually like this way more than I was actually expecting. This was high on my low list. This was very high on my this is not gonna work list, and this just came up to very high on my it's gonna work list. Okay. So like I said, it was around this time where she was on pills, we were fighting, and we would just go through these stints of time where we wouldn't talk. Because it was around also, like, I was old enough, I was playing with my friends, I was in school, so it wasn't like it was like hard to not talk to my mom. It's like we would just, and I think at this time, it's not like she was cooking us dinner every night. Like in the beginning of my life, my mom was an amazing cook. She would cook for us all the time. God bless her. She would make me dishes without onions because I didn't like onions. Like, that's what I want you guys to remember through this all. My mom was an amazing person. My mom was an amazing mother, but there were just sides that were very dysfunctional. Like, my mom loved me to my core, and to the point, like, she would make me separate dishes because I didn't like onions at the time. She would literally make 2 dishes, one for the whole family and one for me. So it's not like my mom was just this like awful abusive person. She was a really good mom and a really good person. She had her traumas and her downsides too, and I can recognize that now, looking back at everything. Okay, so it's not like my mom was in the kitchen cooking us dinner. So it's not like I was like having to avoid and sneaking around. It was kind of like she was up in her bedroom, I was downstairs, either chilling outside with my friends, hanging out with my dogs. Like, I was just busy. It's not like we were like actively like spitefully not talking. It was one of those stints where we weren't talking, we were fighting, and I couldn't tell you what it was about, why the ambulance had to be called, why about all that. She couldn't walk. That's what I remember now. Okay. Like not skate, but like you scoot your butt down the stairs. So whatever was going on, she couldn't walk. I don't know if it was because the pills were shutting down her body, or maybe I'm misremembering, and maybe there's no way it was muscle dystrophy. Well, maybe it was. I don't no, but she couldn't walk, and I remember that, and they had to like bring her down the stairs, put her in the ambulance, and I remembered what are they called, EMTs, going back up to her room, and they found all of her pills, and I remember them being like, well, that's not cool, that's not good, that's weird, that's suspicious, that type of thing. Now, I could be misremembering things. It could have been like the second to the last. This might not have been the last, but I'm pretty sure that was the last time my mom was ever in her house. I also really like this. The reds don't match exactly, if you can see, but they do enough, okay? God, thank you for bearing with me. I know this is a mess. I know we're up and down, we're repeating a lot of things. We're not cohesively saying things, but thank you guys for sticking with me. I have one more, actually, before I change my pants. I have one more. Also, this is from Shein. A lot of the stuff you've probably seen today, besides the Teddy Fresh jacket, Shein. Or Shein, I use it interchangeable. To teach a old dog new tricks, or whatever they say. And then that was at the point where she was in the hospital for a really long time. I don't remember, like I said, I don't remember her ever coming back, but she was in the hospital for like a really, really long time. And I remember, because I was a kid, dude, like I said, 10. I remember just being like, oh, me and my mom are fighting anyway. I'm definitely not going to see her. Like, I hate hospitals. I'm a child. They're boring. I'm going to hang out with my friends. Like, you guys can go visit her. We're fighting anyway. I don't want to talk to her. I don't want to see her. Like, she can have fun in that hospital type shit. Because as a child, you don't... As a child, you don't, the last thing you ever expect in the world is that your parents are gonna die. So you think, yes, they're in the hospital, but they're gonna come back. Just like my mom had been in the hospital before. Like my mom, I don't want to say it was like a regular thing, but there was definitely times in my childhood that my mom had to stay like overnight in the hospital for whatever different reasons. Pancreatitis. Like, it was very much like another situation. When my mom got diagnosed with pancreatitis, she was in the hospital for a long time. So I just assumed, I was like, my mom's been in the hospital before. She's going to come home, whatever. We're going to get over it, okay? And then on Christmas, I've only said it to my sister, and it is my biggest regret in my life. So it's gonna be really hard to say it out loud, especially in front of a camera. So I'm gonna go pause, take a little breather, and then get back to you. I love you. Hi, I'm back. Is everybody having a good time? But me? Is everybody but me having a good time? Okay, great. Glad I could do that for you. Love it. Love sharing my trauma. It's great. It feels great. It feels so good and warm and bubbly inside. It's helping me so much. We can do this. We can do this. We've been through it already. We can talk about it. We've been through it already. We can talk about it. Let's just show the jacket. That's what we're here for, right? We're here for fashion. We're not here for the stories. Let's just do the jacket, right? Let's cut it. Try to sit in there. That's my life. Welcome to All Things Chaotic. That is my life. I'm liking all of these outfits a lot more than I was expecting to, which is nice. I'm not complaining about it. Don't worry. I'm gonna keep going in my story time. I just need a second. Okay. Christmas. And in Kansas, there is a whole ass blizzard. Ooh, step forward a little bit. There's a whole ass blizzard the night before, okay? Wake up Christmas morning. Supposed to go to the hospital. Woke up and there, you know, you're a child. I'm 10 years old, 11. Maybe I was 11 at this point, 11 years old. Maybe was I still 10? Because my birthday's in March. I might have still been 10. Wake up, okay, of course there's things going on. My mom's in the hospital. We don't have a lot of money. My dad's not working. He's been on disability. I can story time that too. But I woke up on Christmas and I'm still like young. You still kind of hope. You know Santa's not real, but you hope. You're like, I'm gonna go down there. There's gonna be presents from Santa. I know there's a lot going on. Santa, he's gonna save the day. We're gonna do this, right? My mom's in the hospital, but that's okay. No big deal. So I go downstairs, and that was the first real time in my childhood that like I realized how messed up things were and how we didn't have money and things were just dysfunctional and not a good time, okay? So I come down and I'm like, okay, no presents. My mom, Christmas was always such a big deal. It was like, she was the mom that would do the cookies, do the milk and cookies. We would put out carrots and she would like crumble up cookies. She would leave like cookie trails to the fireplace, like crunched up carrots, like the whole nine. She loved us so much. She loved me so much and she put in all that work for us. So it just really hit, like her being in the hospital, not getting any presents, not anything, and it was just like not a good time. And it was already a blizzard, so I was like, I don't want to go to the hospital, okay? I didn't go see my mom in the hospital on Christmas, and neither did my dad, because of course he stayed with me because he's like, I'm not gonna leave you alone on Christmas. And my sister was in Wichita. So she, of course, didn't go see her either. So my mom sat alone in the hospital on Christmas. One of the biggest, not one of the biggest, the biggest regret in my life. And I know, like, I can tell myself it's not my fault that she died. So she died on the 31st. She died on New Year's Eve. So it was very shortly after this. It is very much, especially as a little kid, it was very much in my head that it was my fault. I didn't go see her on Christmas. Like, what if I would have gone and see her? Would she have fought harder to live? Like, I've lived for a very long time with a very guilty conscience of if I had gone to see her more, if I would have been there for her, if I would have talked, if I would have been there on Christmas, if I would have loved her more, she would still be here because she would have fought to live and she would have fought for what she loved, and that's not fair for anybody. It's not fair to say that she didn't fight. It's not fair to say that she wasn't fighting. And it's not fair on me to blame myself, but I still do. God, I've said that out loud once to my sister, and it was not that long ago. It was probably like 5-6 years ago. So I held that with me for a very long time. And I, of course, like, can process and understand that, oh my God, I'm sweaty and just, man, oh my gosh. I've had a fan on this whole time. If the audio is shit, I'm so sorry. Bear with me. Hopefully my crying made up for it, or my crying kind of blanked it out. God, I'm a mess. God, if y'all are still here listening to me, I love you. I'll say this a million times. I love you. Thank you. We're in this together. We're for life, baby. You and me. I don't really remember where I left off. I think I'm just gonna end the whole story time there. Y'all get the point. I was a little ass of a child. I refused to go see my mother in the hospital because 1, we were fighting, 2, it was Christmas. I didn't want to be in the hospital on Christmas. I was just being a selfish little freaking brat. And I have those regrets with me for the rest of my life. I've carried them with me my entire life. I don't know why we're getting back into it. I don't know where else to really go from the story time. I really don't want to cry again. We kind of got the point. The moral of the story was I have a lot of regrets around my mom's death and what I could have done, woulda, shoulda, coulda, woulda type situation. I have to tell myself because, like, if somebody was to tell me this story, like, I'm gonna talk to you essentially. If you're going through something similar or have regrets in your life along the lines, I don't want you to think it's your fault, because I have lived thinking it's my fault for a very long time. A lot of my life I have lived thinking it was my fault, and I don't think that's fair on anybody. I don't think it's fair for you. I don't think it's fair for the person / my mom. I don't know who I'm talking to at this point, but it's not fair for you. It's not fair for the person that the regret is towards. I guess what I want out of everything is it's less about me telling my story and me hoping to help somebody such as yourself, that if you are going through something similar or in life that you have these deep regrets and like they're unchangeable regrets, I just want you to know that it's okay to be gentle with yourself. It's okay to forgive yourself while still acknowledging those parts. I don't think it does any good to blame yourself, to think it's all your fault, to hate yourself, because it doesn't do any good for anybody, especially yourself or even the person on the other end of the regret, the aspect of it. I went through a lot of my life regretting, hating myself, thinking things would be different. But one thing I've learned, and one thing I hold very true now to me, is everything happens for a reason. And I know that's crazy to hear from a girl who lost both of her parents, went through all this trauma as a kid. I know it's kind of crazy to sit here and be like, no, everything happens for a reason. But when you really look at it, if you really look back at the grand scheme of things, when you look back at things that have happened in your life, and they don't even need to be like this crazy, okay? Like stories like I've been telling you today. If you just look back at anything that was hard, trials and tribulations that you go through in life, you can always look back and at least pinpoint something you learned out of it. A lesson you learned, growth you gained from it, things you learned not to do in the future. So in that aspect, I very much believe that everything happens for a reason, because if you didn't go through that, you wouldn't have learned the lesson that you needed you wouldn't have learned the lesson you needed to help grow and help better yourself and all of the sorts. So as it does sound crazy to say everything happens for a reason, I really do believe that it does. Be nice to yourself is what I'm trying to say. Be gentle, be kind, be understanding, okay? Like, you go through, each person is essentially, we're all the same meat sack, but with different lived experiences. If you really boil us down, we're all the same, but with just different life experiences. And life experiences are what shape you and shape how you go through life and go through things and meet the world, essentially. So you're only at the time of the regret, at the time of what you're going through. You have to give yourself that you did what you did because that's all you knew what to do. That's all you were given. Your traumas only taught you that's how to act, how to do, how to live, how to see. Moral of the story. I've rambled, jumped, skipped, tried to cohesively put a sentence together this whole time, but moral of the story is be gentle to yourself. Love yourself, forgive yourself, and maybe if this doesn't apply to you, maybe you're the one that needs to forgive somebody. Maybe you're the one that needs to do some forgiving. Because I know if I would have just shut the fuck up and forgiven my mom for what I literally, like I said earlier, couldn't even remember what we were fighting about. Clearly it wasn't that big of a deal. If I don't remember what we were fighting about, I just remember the regret and not going to see her. So maybe it's time to give somebody a call and forgive them, because life is really short. The jacket. I'm gonna stop rambling about myself. I love you. Thanks for listening. I'm proud of you. If nobody's told you that. Okay, this isn't the end of the video. I'm just ending the story time because I can't anymore, and I'm so sorry. Bear with me, but I can't. And I'm starting to get sweaty, so we're gonna have to end this all together here soon because I'm getting sweaty. Final stamp of approval. Here's the fit. I don't know if I'll wear it with the sleeves in or the sleeves out moment. Oh my god, I didn't even show you guys these boots. If I wanted to wear these boots, my favorite, by the way, Converse, I would wear a full black leg. Yeah, and I would probably wear it like this. Okay, guys. Knees weak, arm heavy. I'm gonna cut it here for the day. I will tell you this, I love you. Maybe go tell somebody in your life that you love them today. I think we can go ahead and call it. What do you say? I think we can cut it. We've done a lot today. We've done a lot of sharing today. We've done a lot of opening up today. So I'm gonna go process all of that and scream, cry, do whatever I need to do to forget that this all just happened. Maybe you'll see a third story time, maybe you won't. Who knows? Maybe you'll never see these, but hopefully you do. Okay, guys, I'm done talking. I'm sure you're done hearing me talk. I love you. I will see you next time, which will be in a very short time. Don't stress. I'll be coming back next week with another video. I love you. I'm gonna stop talking. Goodbye. Go take a shower. Go brush your teeth. Go love yourself. Go meditate. I'm proud of you. I will see you next time. Peace out. I love you.